What's up guys, I'm James and welcome to BootWizard. Today we're going to be looking at the Under Armour Clutchfit Force 3, and if you want to know how much I like this boot, here I have a neon yellow pair with an FG stud pattern. And here I have a neon yellow pair with an SG stud pattern. So I'm always good to go with my clutch fits. That's how much I like them. Today we're going to talk about why I think this is so good, why I also think even in 2020 you should go out and buy this if you still can, and talk about why this is potentially one of the most underrated boots of all time. If you want to see more retro and underrated boot reviews, then do hit a like on this video, get subscribed to pick those up, and drop down your most underrated boot in the comments. But that's enough of that, let's get on with it. So the upper on the Clutchfit Force 3 is the primary reason that I really love this boot. It's made out of two main materials, the first one being a Trevella synthetic material. That's what Under Armour call it anyway. And that's a four-way stretch material that sits on the inside of the boot and closest to your feet. And what that does while it's close to your feet is it wraps around your foot really nicely. It has a little bit of elasticity, and it means that four-way stretch gives you a really comfortable, really personal, and really close fit. Now, it does kind of wrap around your foot closely, but without being overly compressive and overly squeezing your foot, which isn't something you get from a lot of synthetic boots. That is point one as to why I really like this. On top of that microfiber synthetic, you get this Under Armour clutch fit system. And the clutch fit system is all of these chevrons that you can see that run around the top of the boot. And what they do is they provide the structure. Because while having a super soft, super flexible upper on the boot might feel really comfortable, it's not going to be the best for lockdown or responsiveness. So this provides you with most of the structure to the boot. The closer and more dense the chevrons are together, the more structure it provides. The looser and more spaced out they are, the more it allows the boot to stretch and flex. So what that means is you maintain that really nice, comfortable, personal, stretchy fit of the microfiber synthetic, and then you get good lockdown and responsiveness as provided by the clutch fit system. It's a really good combination. That clutch fit system is also slightly grippy. It's a little bit rubbery in texture where it's been laid over the top. And what that does is it does give you a little bit of extra grip on the ball, which is really nice. It's not incredible or revolutionary, but it's definitely there and it's definitely enough to notice. The boot overall is on the thinner side, but there is definitely a structured, responsive feeling that comes from the upper, so don't expect a super barefoot feel. It is going to have a little bit of firmness behind it. Not a bad thing at all, just a point to make. But overall, if you release this boot in 2020, would I go out and buy it? Absolutely right, I would. I think this is a fantastic boot, and it's probably Under Armour's best boot for quite some time. I think it absolutely knocks spots off what we get from their 2 or 3 current top-end models with the Magnetico Control and the Magnetico Pro SL. Clutch fit all the way for me. So weight is an area where the clutch fit did struggle a little bit. It's not the lightest boot you're ever going to come across. It comes in at 237 grams, which isn't excessively heavy, but back then and by today's standards, it is on the heavier side of things. We can compare it up with what we get from the current Magnetico Control. That comes in at 231, so fairly similar. You're not going to notice the difference there. And also the Magnetico Pro SL, my favorite boot to weigh because it's called SL, weighs 228 grams, makes no sense at all. So with the Clutchfit Force 3, don't expect a super lightweight boot, and if that's what you want, this maybe isn't for you, but I wouldn't have any issues with the weight at all either. The sole plate and stud pattern, the traction, is less mind-blowingly good than the upper is, but they go together quite nicely and it is quite comfortable still adding to the responsiveness as well. What you get is mainly conical studs, but they are fairly low profile. So if you're playing on a firm ground pitch, you do get a nice dig into the turf and a reasonable amount of traction. Because they're all conical, you also get good rotational movement. You get away with it on AG pitches because they are conical studs, but be aware they are low profile, they are a bit on the longer side, and it's not what the boot was designed for. The whole sole plate and stud pattern Under Armour have kept, and it's what is still on their Magnetico Control Pro line right now. Although I don't love this boot, so that's maybe not the best comparison. What you get from the sole plate and stud pattern is this black area here, which is definitely a stiffer area that gives you good stability through the heel and the midfoot. And then the toe box area is actually fairly flexible, which suits the whole idea of the boot, the rotational movement, and this good control and touch on the ball. So it has got some snapback to it, but it's more of a free-form, natural feeling, which I don't dislike at all. I always cover value for money in my reviews, and it's a little bit hard here because these aren't actually on sale from any main brand retailers that I'm aware of, and because they're Under Armour, they're not hugely in demand, so they're not picked up by a lot of resellers that you might know on Instagram. So your best bet to pick up a pair of these is going to be through eBay. As always, be careful when you're buying on eBay, make sure you're getting genuine product. I have seen a good amount of these actually coming through in my size as samples. They're worth picking up because they're exactly the same as the release variants, and they're only coming in at around £30, which I think is an absolute bargain. If you can pick them up for something like that, I would definitely suggest considering it, because that is a great price for a fantastic boot that can compete with much of what is out today. So looks wise, this is a standard low cut boot with a standard tongue construction, which is very impressive considering how well the boot wraps your foot. I really like the way that the clutch fit design actually adds to the looks and the design of the boot. And then you get this paint splatter effect which runs through the toe box area of the sole plate and also in the Under Armour logo. Clutch fit design down the back. I like the way it looks. The colour's very bright, but again, if you follow the channel for a while, you know that I'm a bit of a sucker for like a neon yellow or vault coloured boot. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Good looking or bad looking? On feet, these should accommodate most people. They really should. They have a standard tongue construction, so you don't get some of the restrictions that you find with one-piece uppers, and the way that that microfiber internal with the clutch fit outer wraps your foot, it becomes very personal, it accommodates your foot, it's comfortable, it's natural, it's fantastic. The fit and feel in this is one of the best that you could get at the time, maybe the best, and it would still be fantastic now. I can't overstate how good this is. I feel locked in and secure. It really is just very well designed. Size-wise, I stuck with my regular size UK 8 here. Now, I know plenty of people that pick up Under Armour boots and go up half a size. The thing here is that I like the tightest possible fit to my boots, and I am a little bit in between sizes. I can go from a 7.5 to an 8, not really an 8 to 8.5. So I will always go for the smaller size if I can, and with these running kind of in between, being a little bit on the small side, picking up the 8 works perfectly for me. So my advice would probably be, if you want to get a super tight fit, then you should go for the smaller size. In my case, the 8, but do be aware that's going to be very tight and very close to the maximum size of your foot. If you want to get something on the more comfortable side and with really less risk, maybe go half a size up. So is this the most underrated boot of all time? Probably not. I'm sure if we dug around, we could find some more underrated boots. But is it a fantastic performer that you can pick up at a really great price with a bit of luck, a great personalized fit, an incredibly comfortable boot? Absolutely, and it's still a boot that I use to this day. I'm going to be very sad when these finally give up on me. If you can think of a more underrated boot, do put it down in the comments. And if you want to see more underrated or bargain boots on the channel, then do hit the like button. Get subscribed if you're not already to get all of my future content. And of course, if you can, please head over to patreon.com/BootWizard and pledge your support for the channel. Everybody who's doing this is making a huge difference. But that's all from BootWizard here today and my beloved Under Armour Clutchfit Force 3. Have a good one. We'll see you soon.